Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off by the Game Day. It is Fantasy Week 14 Look Ahead Day. It is let's go make the goddamn playoffs day.
Yeah.
It is let's unveil a new sign behind us day, if you noticed.
Brother, I didn't know we hung that shit up.
Uh-huh.
Because we've had that kind of like leaning on the wall. That looks good.
Look at that.
I like that.
Woo!
You know why I'm excited?
Why?
Because this week in fantasy,
Uh-oh.
I don't have to start a Patriots quarterback.
Ooh, let's go, bro.
So I had to last week, bro. I had Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields both on bye the same week. Guess what? I got Mac Jones, but I also got Bailey Zappi, both via trade this year, just for insurance. And I mean, they sat Mac Jones. I'm like, I'm all good. I got Bailey Zappi, bro. That game 6-0. The Chargers and Patriots. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So who are your other quarterbacks?
That's depressing. Well, Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields. They're both going to start this week. They had the same bye week, bro.
Let's go.
Two top 5 to 10 quarterbacks bye week on the same week. I was fucked. Still won though. Still dropped 160 because I'm nice like that.
Yeah, you're different. You're different.
So,
look, some people are the same and you're different.
That's right. I'm glad you recognize.
Yeah, I try to. I try and call it out like I see it. You know.
That's right.
We got some usuals in it. I see bars. I see toast. I see cold plays.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, 1 week to make the playoffs in a lot of these leagues. I mean, this year had a lot of parity. There were a lot of. I bet the majority of leagues have like 4 people fighting for a playoff spot. You know. So this episode, we want to spend it obviously going through a little start sits. If you're already in the playoffs, maybe there's a way to prepare the best. Who are you targeting? What are some people you want to add? Should I add 2 defenses, right? Like even going as far as having defenses ready for the playoffs. I think there are some defenses available on the waiver wire in a lot of leagues. So going through that, answering some questions. I definitely want to get to as many questions as possible. So let's clarify that this is going to be a Q&A type episode. So make sure to drop those questions below. I also posted on our Caps Off story on Instagram. Felipe, did you get a chance to see that? Our Caps Off Instagram story?
Today?
Uh-huh.
No, what was it?
While everyone's here, go check out, our Caps Off Instagram story.
I'm going to go right now.
See what it looks like. So we did I asked for some people to submit some questions just so we can start it off. There are definitely questions there, but there's a good-looking, there's a handsome fella also on that one. So just
it has Bula? My Wi-Fi is moving a little slow.
Let me show you what it is.
Yeah, just pull it up for me because my shit's not loaded.
It's Felipe. It's Felipe with a chin strap.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, your chin looks massive.
Where is that from?
That's just Google Images, which is interesting. It's you.
I did have a chin strap, but I had a little mustache too.
Yeah,
it just didn't connect.
It didn't connect,
which is tough.
Your beard in this is kind of where I feel like my beard is right now. Is what I would say.
Yeah, I can't do much better than that. That's the problem. That's why I stopped trying.
That's fair.
But yeah, that's funny, man. You know what this is actually? This is my first Christmas back home in my freshman year of college.
And you're wearing Cowboys gear.
Of course.
Look how fucking
Of course, bro. I had the jacket with all the patches on the Super Bowls and stuff. Living in the past, the glory days that I wasn't even alive for. And then obviously the hat. Yeah, hey, shout out.
You're cute. But so I asked a bunch of people to submit their questions on our Instagram story. We have some questions, so we'll start getting to them and start helping people get into the playoffs or win their league. Obviously, week 14, look ahead. Bramero on Instagram said, must win again to the playoffs. Pick 2 running backs, Raheem Mostert, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jalen Warren, or Kenneth Walker. Who are you going with?
Jahmyr Gibbs, Jalen Warren, Kenneth Walker.
Or Jalen Warren.
I already said Jalen Warren was one of them. Who was the first guy?
Jalen Warren, Kenneth Walker, Raheem Mostert, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, okay. There we go. Is Walker healthy?
I
like these questions because now we're starting to analyze. Like, all right, like
we haven't done
what are guys like status and stuff like that. Walker healthy is my guy. Is gonna be out of those 4. Jalen Warren's been hooping though.
Yeah,
I worry about.
All right, let's start with you're starting Jahmyr Gibbs no matter what, right? Like I think there's no.
Even though he had a terrible week this past week.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Kenneth Walker right now, it said yesterday was posted he was sitting out practice. So it's oblique. They didn't.
I'm starting Gibbs and Warren.
I think I'm going Gibbs and Mostert, I'll be honest.
Mostert will get his touchdown. The problem is like he has a chance to pop, but he also has a chance to just like fucking do nothing. But he might get in the end zone.
But here's how I view this type of start is that I'm starting Raheem Mostert for the floor because I don't
mind that, but Jalen Warren is proven to have a solid floor this year.
Who has the safer floor? Raheem Mostert or Jalen Warren? I think Jalen Warren has the higher ceiling. If Najee wasn't going to play tonight against the Patriots, then I'd say yes. But they said he's going to play. Now he could be limited. But also keep in mind that Patriots defense is pretty damn good. Like even though Austin Eckler is worse than, which I never thought I'd say that Austin Eckler is worse in fantasy right now than Jalen Warren. But Austin Eckler didn't do anything. So the reason I'm going to go Raheem Mostert is to give you a floor
That's
because you got to
true.
get into the playoffs, and then I'm going to start Jahmyr Gibbs with him to give you the ceiling.
Word.
So
I
that
don't
to
mind
me
that.
is your best combination. Let's move into Mikey Baker, friend of the pod, Mikey Baker. He said, "Hey guys, start Jordan Love or Jared Goff," and then he's got a flex question. So we'll start there: Jordan Love or Jared Goff. Jared Goff in Chicago. Weather can play a factor. I think I'm going Jordan Love personally. Just the way
Jordan Love against who?
Against the Giants Monday night.
Yeah, you got to go with that. You got to go with that. Also, you get the little primetime boost. That's fun, man. It's going to make your Monday night more fun. No, you have to. Jordan Love, he's night and day compared to what he was earlier in the season. He wasn't playing very well early.
Yep.
Turned it up lately, and he's been eating. And that whole Packers offense has been doing well. Now, one thing to consider is Christian Watson. Is he healthy? Do we know that status?
I don't think it hasn't come out yet. There hasn't been a lot of information on the hamstring, but my guess is he doesn't play.
Right.
Like he's had so many hamstring injuries.
Regardless, man, Love, you can see he's feeling it. He's feeling it. You know, on Monday Night Football, man. I guess the Giants, come on, man. The Giants, the best part of their team is the defense, and they're not even that good. So you got to go Jordan Love.
His next question is flexing one of these guys: Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Garrett Wilson. He already has Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins, so he's going to add one of these guys in the flex. The options: Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, or Garrett Wilson.
Oh, okay. Well, no Trevor Lawrence. I'm scared of Ridley. I'm going to go Zay because he's going to get his volume. Yeah. He's definitely going to get his volume. And so I'm going to go Zay. The third guy was who?
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett. I just hate the Jets offense.
Like it's an uptick, obviously, for Garrett Wilson.
It might be Wilson highest floor.
Yeah.
I like Zay because he's going to give me at least 10, bro. With the targets and yardage, like he's going to get you at least 5 for 50. Like you know that from Zay.
I think I agree, and I think he can find the end zone. Again,
if he finds the end zone, now you're at 17, 20, and you're going to win with that.
I think what we know also in fantasy is that if a player right before the bye has a lot of usage or a decent amount of usage, and then they go into the bye, usually they're going to come out of it like they've spent that bye trying to game plan, how do we get this person the ball more? So that exists for Keaton Mitchell, that exists for Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers obviously has 2 touchdowns last week, and his outlook was drastically changed by scoring that second touchdown at the end of the game. But Keaton Mitchell had more touches than any other running back on that team. Coming out of the bye, I think Keaton Mitchell is going to be their RB1. So I think I agree with you. I go Zay. Ridley scares me with CJ Beathard. And then obviously Garrett Wilson. I just don't trust the Jets offense. Josh Pilecki, friend of the pod, said Isaiah Pacheco or Jalen Waddle this week. Leaning Pacheco if Jerick McKinnon doesn't play.
Yeah.
I just think Pacheco's floor.
Pacheco's this week. He's got a good rest of season schedule. So if you got him into the playoffs, like that's good for you too.
Yep.
I like Pacheco. The floor is good, and he still has a ceiling too. I mean, the ceiling I think might be like 25, but I mean, you like that still.
Dude, if you put up 20 from Isaiah Pacheco, you're golden.
Yeah.
Right? Like the key to fantasy and winning your weeks normally is having 2 players put up over 20. Pacheco can get you that easily.
Yeah.
And the reason he can get you that is not even because what he has to do in the passing game. It's he can just score 2 touchdowns very easily. Agreed. So he's like Gus Edwards, but Gus Edwards I like a lot more, if that makes sense. Where he's going to find the end zone. So I go Pacheco. Grood said Alexander Madison or Raheem Mostert at the flex.
Mostert.
I think I'll go Mostert. Start Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, or Brock Purdy.
CJ Stroud or Brock Purdy. Okay, so matchup. So I know Fields got the Lions.
CJ has the Jets. And Brock Purdy has the Seahawks. I think I'm
going Fields, bro.
Rushing,
and the Lions are good. Don't get me wrong, but they're not standout defensively. And Justin Fields, while he hasn't been the best overall quarterback, he's still been a good quarterback when he's been playing, and he's been getting his. And so against the Lions, I believe at last game against the Lions, they should have won. They were up by a lot. Fields actually balled out. And I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Fields is going to do the same thing and just continue what he's been doing. So I'm going to go Fields. I like his floor.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think, to me, it would either be Fields or Brock Purdy. But what you're going to get out of Fields is always the rushing upside. So I'm not.
I think the rushing gives him a safe floor. And I think, he's had games where he's been balling out as a passer, and that gives him a high ceiling.
Right.
And so the combination of floor ceiling, I go Fields.
Combination. Well, if we look at Frank Emarante's rankings on thegameday.com, make sure to check that out. Frank, we had him on Tuesday's episode. He's
a master.
The 6th most accurate ranker this season on Fantasy Pros.
Yeah, he's a legend.
So out of 180 plus different fantasy experts who are putting out their rankings and giving you suggestions and who to start, who to sit, he's been the 6th most accurate. I don't think people realize how crazy that is. He has Brock Purdy as the QB5 this week.
Interesting.
And he has Justin Fields QB9.
Interesting. Okay.
So
I get it.
I think he's going for floor, though.
Dak Prescott tore apart that Seahawks defense last week, 3 touchdowns, 300 plus yards. Purdy can do the same thing, and we've seen them, and we saw him do it on Thanksgiving. And so I get that. I understand that. I think you're in a good position. Either way.
Alex Dielson Wheel says Josh Downs or Jonathan Mingo in the flex.
Downs.
Yeah, I mean Mingo's been coming on.
He has been, but like I Downs has been consistent all year.
Yeah.
Ever since like week 3 or whenever he really started turning it on, he's been consistent.
He had a down week last week.
Yeah, he did.
So I get that would skew you. The week prior, he had 12 targets.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to lean Josh Downs. Mingo's coming along, though. You can keep him on the bench. If you want to bet on Jonathan Mingo this week, make sure to go to the link in our bio right now. We have a promo with FanDuel, so make sure to sign up for that. Jonathan Mingo's receiving prop is set at, I believe, 3.5 receptions. He's hit that in the last 2 weeks. That feels like a lock to me to take the over. Zay Flowers or Cooper Kupp? This is from Chris Jean on TikTok.
I feel like you got to go Kupp.
I feel like you do too, but Cooper Kupp has been so bad as of late.
I know, it's annoying. It's one of those where it's like we just talked about. Zay Flowers is gonna give you 5 for 50 if you play full PPR. He's gonna get you a floor of like 10 to 12, I think. And then if he gets in the end zone, now you're talking about a really good fantasy performance, right? Like 17 to 20. And so, if all you need is like a good floor from that guy, then Zay is probably your play. But if you really want to go try to like Kupp can bounce back anything. When we know Kupp is healthy, like we know what he can do, right? He's been the most impressive receiver over the past couple of years when he's been healthy. So I just lean Kupp if you really got to win your week.
I agree with that, right? If you're like, well, shit, I'm going up against the best team in the league. I need a home run. I can't just have a floor.
Boom.
Then Cooper Kupp is your guy. And I think a lot of people in fantasy this week need to look at their rosters like that, right? So I'll give you an example in one of my leagues. I'm currently fighting for a playoff spot, and I need points because in my league, as we've talked about on Tuesday's episode, the last seed in the playoffs doesn't make it based off of your record. You make it based off of points for.
Right.
I'm 40 points for behind the next person. And if he loses this week, obviously he would be ahead of me. But I'm starting Keaton Mitchell over Calvin Ridley, who I think naturally you would want to start Ridley only because obviously he had a down game, but he still had the targets there. And then the 2 weeks prior, he was good. Keaton Mitchell, it's a more bleak type of outlook in terms of that rushing department. I'm starting Keaton Mitchell because it's the home run threat, right? It's a guy that can give me 25. So I think if you want the floor play, it's Zay. If you want the ceiling, it's Cooper Kupp. Frank Amarante's rankings, he has Zay at wide receiver 20, Cooper Kupp at wide receiver 28. So
wow.
Yep.
There you go.
Emez on TikTok said Drake London, Elijah Moore, or Jordan Addison at the flex. Drake London, wide receiver 30 on Frank's rankings. Elijah Moore for me is not someone I want to start, even though he's wide receiver 25, which is crazy.
He played well this past week.
So he's just outside the top 24. And then if you look at Jordan Addison currently wide receiver 35. So I'm not going to start Jordan Addison with Jettis back. I'm going to clarify that.
Yeah.
He's officially coming back.
Yeah. You just don't know either. Like you just don't know what he is with Jettis back this week.
I don't find Elijah Moore to find the end zone, though. I think he could have targets.
He's been getting good volume, though.
He's had volume all year.
Yeah, but he's been converting that lately. Who's the number one guy?
Elijah Moore, wide receiver 25. Drake London, wide receiver 30.
London.
I think I lean slightly Drake London.
You go Drake. I think he has a higher ceiling. I'm gonna go Elijah. I think Elijah gives me a floor that I need. Like,
I don't hate it.
Like he's been playing well, and I have Elijah Moore on my deep bench in my dynasty league. I haven't started him once all year, but he's getting into that territory where it's like I would say like that Josh Downs, where it's like you kind of put him in your lineup just to give you a good floor. Because I don't think he's ever going to pop off. He could if he scores touchdowns, but yeah, that's tough. I like Drake London as far as ceiling. I like Elijah Moore as far as floor.
Here's a good one. Benny did that on TikTok, said Chuba Hubbard or Zeke at the flex.
That's interesting. I mean,
I think I lean Zeke.
Yeah,
Ramondre.
Frank came on Tuesday, was super high on Zeke the rest of the year just because of the Ramondre injury. Probably go.
Look, he's a volume play. There's no doubt about it. But he has Zeke as RB 26 and Chuba as RB 32, so pretty close. Chuba was good last week. I just lean to me. I could see Zeke getting 18 carries and finding the end zone. Get some of those tough yard carries. Like Zeke sucks, man. As a Cowboy fan, I can say that. Here's a good one.
He'll get his.
Jimmy McCarthy said DeAndre Swift, Raheem Mostert, David Montgomery, or Aaron Jones. So I don't believe Aaron Jones is going to play. So and no matter what, I'm eliminating him from that.
Out of those guys,
so DeAndre Swift, Raheem Mostert, and David Montgomery.
See, I don't know how I feel about DeAndre Swift this week. I'll start off with that because obviously 4 points against the Niners last week. We knew it was a tough matchup. The Cowboys aren't an easy matchup either. And he also didn't do too much last time they played the Cowboys. So I like DeAndre Swift overall as like a running back. I love his talent. I love what he can bring on a season's perspective. But like these matchups aren't favorable for him. And so that kind of has me leaning Mostert. And then I like Montgomery too, because Montgomery's been putting on. The one I like the most out of those is probably Mostert.
Montgomery and Mostert feel very similar, just in different types of offenses, right? Like floor plays.
Yeah.
I will lean slightly Mostert only because I think he has a little bit more volume in the passing game. Like Tua has been able to give him a few receptions here and there. He's also scored on some receiving touchdowns, whereas Montgomery is going to be within the goal, within the red zone, really, is where he's going to dominate those touches for the most part. I'll slightly lean Mostert. Frank has Raheem Mostert as RB17, Montgomery is RB18. So you can't really go wrong.
Oh, there you go. That's why I was like,
we're right there.
Right there on that. What about the other backs, though? What does he have? Swift.
DeAndre Swift's RB20.
That's the thing, bro. His talent is his top 10, top 12 RB1.
He was a top 12 running back for, I would say, the first 10 weeks of the season. You were like looking at DeAndre Swift as a top 10 running back, top 12 running back. But until we see Philadelphia say they want to commit to the ground again, I'm going to keep him outside the top 12.
Bro.
Yeah. I'm going to keep him outside the top 12.
If they're playing a team, like, look, bro, we've talked about the gauntlet they've had the past few weeks. I mean, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Niners, the Bills. It's like if they're going to play a team where they're going to be playing from ahead, like they're just way better, then Swift is going to get his, and he's going to go crazy. But right now, it's still not it.
Here's going from Devin. He said, Dalton Kincaid or George Kittle?
Ooh, man. So I didn't know this, but
can we bring that one on screen? Also, just curious. I want to.
Jack mentioned that Dawson Knox is back this week.
Dawson Knox is back.
So that doesn't scare me from starting Kincaid still. I'm still starting Kincaid, but you have Kittle too. I'm probably going Kittle. I'm going Kittle.
I go Kittle as well.
And naturally, even if Knox wasn't coming back, that's still a good question. I might still go Kittle because Kittle's been going crazy this year. But especially with Knox coming back, like I at least want to see if Kincaid gets ticked down a bit because of that. I don't know. I still think he's startable, but compared to Kittle, I might go. I think I'll lean Kittle.
I'll lean Kittle as well. I mean, look, I am slightly more pessimistic on the outlook with Dawson Knox coming back. It could go one of two ways. Obviously, Kincaid was good. I think you still trust him. He's still going to see the targets. He kind of plays in. He's like a slot receiver. Is really how I view Kincaid, not necessarily a tight end. Whereas Kittle is very much a tight end. The problem is Kittle's splits at home are better than he is away. They play at home. Kittle is someone, as we've said all year, can go for 30 on any given week.
Man, yeah.
What he needs to do, what he can do with less is why you'd go Kittle, right? Like, because he can get a touchdown easily at any given point.
Totally.
But I don't mind starting Kincaid also. If you're like super high on Buffalo, you want to watch that game, primetime juice. Not like primetime, but like 425 against Chiefs Bills.
I like that primetime more.
Yeah.
Man, Kincaid's special, bro, but give him a little bit. Like, again, I don't know what Knox. Now, let's fast forward to 2026. Kincaid, tight end 1 every single game.
You could do it to 2025, too. I think you could go straight to 2025.
Yeah, I could.
Josh Dry on TikTok said, start 3 of these 4. Okay? Austin Eckler, Bijan Robinson, David Montgomery, and Nico Collins.
I'm starting.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that tough. I'm going Bijan, Eckler, and Collins. And I know that Eckler has been down. He hasn't been great the past couple of weeks. I'm banking on talent and who he is and who we know he is to get his and just get in the end zone, too. Like, he's a touchdown machine. We've known that. Like, come on, bro. Many times we've seen him play that little air guitar. He's going to get his. Montgomery was the other guy, right?
Yep.
He has a good floor. The other guys all have high ceilings to me, though.
Agree. I mean, I totally agree. I think with Tank Dell being out, like Nico is amazing at his best year of his entire career last week. I want to start Nico. It's one of those guys where, regardless of how he performs, the opportunity is one of the best right now.
Yeah.
High-powered offense.
Yep.
Their wide receiver 1, 2, and Tank Dell obviously goes down. So I'm with you. I go Eckler, Bijan, and Nico. Obviously, this might be the last leg or the last straw for Eckler. If Eckler can't go off, even though Denver's defense has been better, if Eckler can't do anything, I'm bumping him out of my top 12, like moving forward. I would. But
But he's still going to be like a flex play for you still.
Yeah, Frank has him has Austin Eckler at RB3 on the week.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like you got to bank on the upside, bro. Yep. We can't be looking at like he's still him.
Crosa 137 says Puka Nacua in the rain or Cortland Sutton versus the Chargers. That's a tough one.
I'm going Nacua in the rain.
Yeah, I think they're very similar. I mean, Frank has Cortland Sutton at wide receiver 18, Puka Nacua wide receiver 23. I think again, I think I lean Puka because Cortland Sutton. I don't want to say he's been touchdown dependent, but he's in all these games he's had a touchdown. Now, granted, that's amazing, and the Chargers, it could be a shootout. I think I lean Puka. I just like him way better. I think he's way more adorable, way more.
It's Rams Chargers.
The
Battle of LA.
No, it's Rams. Rams Baltimore. Which is a great matchup. Chargers Broncos.
Got you. Rams Baltimore. Yeah, that could be a high scoring game. Yeah, man, you gotta go Pook.
All right, this is from user 187. This is a good one. I like when these questions get a little bit more complicated. He has Stephon Diggs, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, and Nico Collins. Okay. So let's start there without even reading the rest of the question. Diggs and Nico Collins are your wide receivers. Let's start there. Then he's got Devon Achane as his running back. He needs 2 wide receivers and a flex. Need help. So
it's Devon Achane as a running back.
Yeah. So Nico and Diggs are your 2 wide receivers. So now it's between Zay Flowers and Garrett Wilson at your flex.
Okay, so we're choosing between those 2?
Zay and Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I think I gotta go Zay.
I gotta go Zay because of the floor. Also, like you said, high scoring matchup against the Chargers or the Rams. I think that I'm going Zay, man. Look, there's no question who the more talented receiver is Garrett Wilson, but matchup and just situation with the offense, I'm gonna go Zay.
Here's a good one. Aiden said Josh Jacobs or Achane.
Jacobs floor.
I go Achane ceiling against the Titans. Here's why.
I get it, but I think Jacobs still has a good ceiling. Man, this dude Jacobs is still a top 12 RB this year. But I know Achane's been hurt, but
Minnesota's defense is.
Shout out Brian Flores.
Yeah, you're a man. The reason here's why I'll tell you I'll go Achane. Last week, I was afraid that because it was a blowout, they would start giving carries to Jeff Wilson. Like they would just be like, we're not going to hurt this guy. They let him loose. He had 17 carries, 2 touchdowns. The ceiling is.
Who the Dolphins play this week?
The Titans on Monday night. That's Monday Night Juice.
Yeah.
You got to go Achane. What are we doing?
It's more fun, bro. It's more fun to go Achane. It's more fun. But, like, Jacobs is going to get his, bro. Start both of them.
I was going to say, who's the other running back there?
Both of them.
Here's a good one. Alex Wahigamuth.
I like that name.
Said pick 2 to start. Gus Edwards, Chuba Hubbard, Amari Cooper, or Taysom Hill.
Amari Cooper, will start him for sure. And then
I don't know if Amari's totally cleared though.
Yeah. I'm saying if he's healthy. Gus Edwards, who else? Jesus Christ.
Gus Edwards, Chuba Hubbard, and Taysom Hill.
Jesus Christ, bro. I'm so sorry. I'm praying for you tonight. I'm gonna go.
That's so tough.
I'm going Chuba and Amari Cooper.
I think I have to as well. I just like
what the fuck?
I think Keaton Mitchell had more carries than anyone before the Ravens went into the bye.
So watch Gus Edwards go for like 6 touchdowns this week. He could.
I don't know. That one's a tough one. Pollard or ETN? This is from Noah on TikTok.
Great question. Both of them. Why are we questioning? Like you start both of them. Do you have other running backs that are better that you're starting in front of both of those guys? That's interesting because you start all of them.
Let's see.
If you have to choose, though, if you're in a situation where you have to choose, I don't know why you would have to choose. But if you have to choose.
Primetime juice.
Primetime juice. Oh, the Jags are primetime? Oh, is that
your Cowboys are primetime?
Oh, the Cowboys are primetime. Cowboys are primetime. That's a fact against the Eagles. Paul's going to get his, bro. Paul's going to get his this week, man. Come on. Paul's been on a tear.
I'm not even fucking around. Primetime juice is a real thing for me.
ETN is nice, though.
Like, there's something to be said about, and I know kind of.
Why are you choosing?
There's something to be said about going into like Monday or going into like Sunday night and knowing that you have someone in your primetime spot, and then you're just rooting for your opponent to not do that well, and you're like, oh, I only need 11 points tonight, and there's like that excitement going into Sunday Night Football. Yeah, that's how I feel. What do you think back there, Kondo? It's a big testosterone.
Boost your testosterone.
Who would you rather start, Travis Etienne or Tony Pollard back there? Good point.
All right, we're going Tony Pollard or ETN, but come on, brother. You got to start both of them. What the fuck are we doing? Yo, Kondo, there was a question. I like the question that had a bunch of sirens and clearly said Adam and Felipe. So this person clearly knows who we are and appreciates the value we bring. So I want to,
while you're finding it, before we continue to answer start sit questions, there are about 400 people here on TikTok right now. If you are new here and you're just seeing it from the For You page, make sure to hit that link in our bio. Make sure to hit our page, hit that follow button. We do fantasy episodes twice a week. We do a pregame show on Sunday. We also are live streaming the Cowboys-Eagle games. We do a lot of live streams, and we have 5 NFL episodes that come out a week where we play games, debate. So if you are new here, make sure to check that out.
That's a
and
fact.
Follow us.
And and if you ever miss these live, because we're bringing this shit live. Well, I mean, we don't have that too many more weeks of these fantasy episodes. I didn't even think about that. But make sure you can catch it on Spotify, Apple. Go listen to it. All right, that's the question. I'm gonna need you to zoom in though, Kondo, because
Adam and Felipe.
There we go.
Flex
Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice, or David Montgomery. Starting Eckler, Bijan, Moore, and Pittman. So you're choosing to flex either Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice, or David Montgomery. That's tough. I'm gonna go with David Montgomery.
I'm gonna go David Montgomery as well. I think it just gives you the safer floor. Garrett Wilson, don't know. Rashee Rice, amazing talent, but the Chiefs' offense has looked And I think he will be the biggest benefactor down the stretch.
Yeah.
As for the wide receivers, but I got to go Monty. I think it's a good question, Matt.
It's a great question. And the fact that you're starting Eckler, Bijan, Elijah Moore, and Pittman, those are great. I would question Elijah Moore, maybe with Wilson, though. Like, I might want to put Wilson in there, but yeah, you got the right idea.
Chapo_3K on TikTok asked if we're going to Dolphins Cowboys.
Man, Adam is going.
I'll be there.
I could have. I considered actually going with Adam. I'm not going to be in Miami during that time period. I'm going to go a few days later. So
DM us though. Let's meet up. Here's a good question from Zach Rabluski on YouTube. He said, "Should I pick up Isaiah Likely or leave Taysom Hill as my starting tight end? I'm currently 7-6 against the 7-6. We are fighting for the final playoff berth.
Taysom Hill's going to be higher ceiling.
And you're in. Yeah, but Likely got targets too.
How did Likely do this past week? I know he's been one of the.
Well, they were on the bye. The week before, I think he had like 6 targets. He was like 4 receptions for 40 yards, maybe. Wasn't bad.
I know he's been one of the top waiver wire guys. But I think I like Taysom Hill. But do you not have a better option? Like, we don't have a better option.
I think I'm going Taysom Hill. I don't know.
I'm going Taysom too, but like,
which is gross because it's essentially like putting a running back like an RB3 at your tight end, and like running backs just have the easiest chance.
Yo, Adams.
I was gonna say I had that question up right now. He asked it a few times. It appears there's a lot of questions coming in that are specifying our name. So I guess
that. Respect.
If you specify our name, we might be able to answer it a lot better because we could see that. You want to go ahead and read it?
Yeah, Adams and Felipe. So you should permanently add an S at the end of your name.
So Devontae.
Pick 3: Kyron Williams, Isaiah Pacheco, Devon Achane, Brandon Ayuk,
oh my god,
and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh my god, this team
St. Brown and Hill are my wide. Your receivers are nasty.
Bro, your team is nasty.
Your team is gross. Pick 3: Kyron, Pacheco, Achane, Ayuk, Gibbs. All right. Okay.
He's loaded.
That's disgusting, bro. Pick 3. Okay. Pacheco, Ayuk. Oh.
All right.
Kyron been going crazy, right?
I'll be honest. I'm not starting. Like, for sure, for me, the easiest is benching Ayuk out of this. Kyron has been
Ayuk's been going crazy, though.
Yeah, but Kyron's been incredible. Pacheco's RB5 this week, according to Frank, and Achane is like RB7.
Achane is Achane RB7 on Frank?
Frank has Achane as RB9. Pacheco has RB7. Yeah. And Kyron has RB11.
Jesus Christ.
And Jahmyr Gibbs is RB6.
Oh.
All right, hear me out.
Why are you so stacked? You don't even need to win this week. You're probably undefeated.
Dylan, ask your commissioner and say, can I play Jahmyr Gibbs as a wide receiver and only count his wide receiver touches? Because that just sounds fun.
Nah.
Dude, this team is loaded.
Your team's loaded. All right, realistically, though, if you got to pick, I mean, okay. Realistically, you got to pick.
I'm definitely starting Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, and Isaiah Pacheco for me. That's what I'll say. I'm sorry, Achane. Achane has a great ceiling, but he's got a low floor. The other guys have high ceilings with high floors as well.
I agree. As much as I want to say start Achane across the board, I agree.
So you're probably
primetime juice.
Primetime. Yeah. So you're probably sitting Achane and Ayuk, even though they both could go crazy. But that's what you're probably doing.
Emez said, Adam, what is? Oh, he just only said me, so I guess I can't. I'm the only one that can answer. I'm the only one that answers that. What is the option? Starting AJ Dillon or Keaton Mitchell? I go Keaton.
Keaton. Yo, there was another one I said Adam and Felipe.
Yes, I have it. It's Junior. Oh, everyone is saying Adam and Felipe now. So this is an issue because I lost it. Junior Albazura said Adam and Felipe. Well, now it's Adams and Felipe. So let's just clarify. If you're going to say Adams, just say Devontae and Felipe. Okay, let's clarify that. So Devontae and Felipe. Start 2, Kyron Williams, Bijan Robinson, Rashad White, or Zach Moss. Oh, my God.
Kyron Williams, Rashee Rice, Zach Moss.
No. Kyron Williams, Bijan.
Oh.
Rashad White, and Zach Moss.
Jesus
Start 2.
Christ. I'm cutting Zach. Okay, let's look at the other 3. I am.
I'll agree with cutting Zach only because he got the volume last week and he just didn't perform. So I'm only going to go off that. Easily going to get the exact same amount of volume and should perform, but they were in overtime. He should have had those.
Our producer Kondo, by the way, disagreed with my take of cutting.
Producer Kondo says Cincinnati, who they're playing, allows the 6th most fantasy points to post.
Look, bro, I get that. I'm starting Bijan. I don't give a fuck. Who are the other running backs? It's been a while.
Kyron Williams,
yeah,
and Rashad White.
We have to pick 2?
Yeah, I don't want to pick 2.
Rashad White has been getting his, bro. Rashad White's been going crazy just because of the volume, the touches, the receptions.
Are you worried about Kyron Williams going up against Baltimore? That defense is pretty damn good. I'm not one to believe that you bench some of your best players for matchups. I just refuse to do that.
Regardless, I'm starting Bijan. Okay, against Tampa, I think.
Frank has Zach Moss as RB4 this week, and Bijan as RB5, and Kyron as RB11, and Rashad as RB12. How are we in the same predicament?
See, you guys are asking great questions because, like, they're true predicaments, man. Like, you're choosing between a few great options. But like, are you guys playing in a 4-team league? How do you have all of these guys though? That's my question. I get the Zach Moss because you probably picked them up off waivers early. Same with Kyron. That's tough.
All right, I'm starting Bijan and I'm starting Kyron Williams.
That's what I'm doing.
Yep, I've just seen the floor and the ceiling with Kyron, and I think Bijan has the ceiling.
How about Jay Woe? He got the prayer, and it's Christmas time. Yeah, Jesus loves you even if you're Jewish.
Hey, Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy today?
Today's first day.
Hell yeah. PPR, start 2. T. Higgins, D-Hop, or Breece Hall. I'm starting to hit. You're starting D-Hop?
D-Hop and Breece, bro. Hey, I can't trust a single thing that T has done.
That's true. But D-Hop, can you trust D-Hop?
No, but like.
I'm going Higgins and Hall. I'm going Higgins and Hall.
At least I know what Will Levis brings to the table in terms of he's just going to air it out. So there's like a ceiling there with D-Hop because we've seen him go for 3 touchdowns and 3 receptions on 100,000 yards. With T. Higgins, he was back last week and they put up a lot of points. And Jamar, he just force-fed Jamar.
I got
so
you.
I'm gonna go D-Hop and Breece Hall.
I saw a Rashee Rice or I just lost the second name. Can you scroll up a second? It was a good one.
Are you in the middle of like a burp right now?
Was actually Rashee Rice or Garrett Wilson. It was. I don't know where it is. Somebody respect to you whoever asked that question.
Garrett Wilson or Rashee Rice. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not in the middle of a burp anymore, so I can answer your question. I'm actually going Rashee Rice because the Chiefs are playing Buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. That's gonna be a very high scoring game. I think Rashee gets his.
91 Trillis. We got a trade question.
All right.
It's just an analyzing of the trade. Nope.
They said Devontae and Felipe.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Thank you. We're gonna answer that afterwards. Actually, no, I read the wrong one, but I want to give in. It went away. There's too many comments, and I appreciate it.
Wait, Kondo, scroll up a couple, bro. There was one that just specifically said me, and so fuck Adam, and I liked it. There was some cowboy hats next to it. Right there. Shout out Lil Pepe Vert. Hey, Lil Pepe Vert. Felipe, start 2. Reed, Brandon Cooks, Pickens, Deontay Johnson. All right.
Lil Pepe.
Wait, hold up. Oh, Reed, Jada Reed. I'm going Brandon Cooks. And
no bias detected.
Nah, but he been cooking lately though.
No bias.
No pun intended. And no bias intended. Brandon Cooks has been cooking. I'm going Cooks. And Adam, you're gonna have to help me out.
Pick no. He said Felipe, guys. Bro. He asked for
That's
Felipe.
True, he didn't ask you. All right, I'm going.
He didn't say Devontae.
I'm going Jaden. I'm going Reed. I'm going Reed and Cooks. Reed because Christian Watson. I don't know his status, but he's not playing. I like him better. I don't know.
Shit, Felipe.
I hate the Steelers receivers. That's partly why.
I just hate the Steelers. Here's a good one. We've had a lot of these questions with Pacheco. Full PPR, start 3, Isaiah Pacheco, Achane, Monty, or Zeke.
Isaiah Pacheco,
Your first
Achane.
three. You're starting your first three, Davey.
Yeah, you are.
All right, a lot of questions have been about Pacheco, Devon Achane, and Montgomery. So, let's just talk about their outlook this week and just talk about their outlook rest of the season so that maybe if someone has other questions, they could kind of figure it out. Before we jump into it, Steve said Taylor Swift or Kelsey. That ain't close.
Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce?
Yeah, that ain't close.
For some reason, I was thinking DeAndre Swift. This was a real fantasy question. Kelce.
Okay. Isaiah Pacheco. A guy that has been able to get into the end zone. As of right now, it feels like that offense is running through Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
That offense is going to go with Isaiah Pacheco. He, rest of season, to me, feels like someone is like a top 15 running back. Why? Because he's like David Montgomery in a better position because he's not dealing with Jahmyr Gibbs. No one is competing for Isaiah Pacheco's time. He runs hard. So I think Pacheco is someone you want to start no matter what.
I agree with that. 100% must start.
When I think of Achane, I think of a guy who obviously is going to share with Mostert. Jeff Wilson might get some touches. But in terms of ceilings, he's reminds me of like what George Kittle is to Travis Kelce in some capacity, because Kittle is someone that can give you a ceiling that Kelce has always had his career consistently. But
he could give you a 2-point performance.
Exactly. Now, I don't think Achane's going to give you a 2-point performance, but I think Achane is someone you don't want to take out of your lineups. He's someone who can win you weeks. And I think in the playoffs, more times than not, you're going to need someone that can win you weeks than give you just floors. Yeah. So Achane is there. And when it comes to David Montgomery, I think David Montgomery, he's an RB2 to me. He's going to find the end zone. He's not going to take 20 touches. He's not going to have that much volume out of the backfield, but he's going to be consistent. So depending on who you're going against and who else you have, that's how I look at it.
You're actually just spitting left and right. Like spit here, spit there. Yo, look at all those menorahs. Are those menorahs?
Yeah. Good job.
Shout out to the Jews, bro.
Let's go.
Angelo, Adam and Felipe, Nico Collins or Mostert. Ball? Who's Ball? Monty Ball. Rashid Rice.
Who's Ball?
Hall, maybe. Brees Hall.
Maybe Brees Hall.
All right. Nico Collins, Raheem Mostert, Brees Hall, Rashid Rice for flex.
So let's think about Monty Ball, though. Monty Ball Wisco was crazy.
I'm going Nico, man, out of those guys. Or Mostert for the floor. Mostert floor? Monty Ball ceiling.
Monty Ball
Nico Collins, I'm starting. I think he has the best combo.
Yeah, I think so, too. But I might go Mostert for the prime time.
Start 5. Bijan. Shout out Gabe.
Well, Felipe, I got to ask you this because he said that's Felipe true. Only. He only wants to hear from Felipe.
That's true.
Felipe, start 5 out of these guys. Bijan Robinson, start 5. Start his whole lineup. Make his whole lineup.
All right.
This is from Gabe. He said Bijan Robinson, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, Monty Ball, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, and Michael Pittman. This roster is loaded.
You should ask the better question because, you can eliminate AJ Brown from there. You're definitely starting him. You could have just said start 4 and eliminate AJ Brown. All right. So you're going to start AJ Brown. You're going to start Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
I also think you're going to put Pittman at your flex.
You're going to start
Pittman. Oh, my God. You got Jamar Chase, too.
You're going to. Oh, I see a dilemma now. My man. AJ Brown, Amon-Ra, you're starting. Okay. Running backs, you're starting Bijan. And I'm starting Joe Mixon. I am. I'm going to go back to you. I'm going to ask you.
He said Felipe, bro.
I know, but I'm going mine right now. I'm going Bijan and I'm going Mixon. Okay. And then for the flex, now we're in between Monty, Brees, Jamar, and Pittman.
Can we throw this on screen just so people can see how absurd of a dilemma Felipe's
okay,
in
so
right
for
now?
everybody that's but wondering what the fuck I'm talking about, there's your question on screen. You can see it now. It's tough. But what I've said so far is that you're starting at receiver. You're starting AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay. I don't think a lot of people would debate that. At running back, I'm starting Bijan. And then it's hard. But I'm probably going Mixon. So now at flex, I'm in between Monty, Brees, Jamar Chase.
Bro, we're starting. Sorry, I can't.
And Pittman. You got to start Jamar Chase.
I just don't know how you don't start Jamar. I don't know how you don't start Amon-Ra and AJ Brown.
But honestly, Pittman for me has a safer floor than Chase at this point. And he could still go crazy. He gets in the end zone?
Well, he didn't ask me, so I probably shouldn't answer.
Hey, brother, I'm sorry. It's just hard to sit Jamar. You know what, man?
Don't sit Jamar.
Who do the Bengals play?
Woo, we got some just Devontae questions. Woo.
All right, we're gonna hit those after. Who does the Bengals play?
The
Bengals
play. It's the Colts. Yep, you did say that.
Oh,
Bro,
I'm going Pittman. You're sitting Jamar Chase. You heard it here first.
Well, that's why you only ask Felipe. When you want the real takes, when you want the real shit, you ask me. You ask Devontae Adams because he's a dog. Devontae and Felipe, you said pick one for my flex. Sutton. The fact that people are actually doing this. Sutton, JSN, Brandon Cooks. I think you gotta go Sutton.
Start one.
I think you gotta go Sutton.
It's a good question. Why are you brushing it off like it's easy? Yeah. Look, I like what JSN has been doing, but he's going against the Niners defense. That's tough.
Again,
I'm gonna do what Adam said.
Yep, do what Adam said. This one's from Jake. Just Adam. Pick 2. Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Puka, and Waddle.
Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Puka, and
Jamar
Waddle.
And Mike Evans.
Yeah, I agree with. I agree with that.
By the way, while we're here, I think this is a good time. While there's 400 plus people on TikTok and a bunch of people on YouTube, who do you think the better wide receiver is? Not fantasy, just better wide receiver.
Yeah, I want to see the answers because me and Adam had this debate.
Jalen Waddle or Puka Nacua? And frankly, the ball knowers are going to separate themselves from the ball knowers right now. Because,
that ain't true necessarily.
Because now you're just looking at fantasy numbers. This is not a hard question to answer.
Agree? No, I think it is a hard question to answer.
It's not that hard, bro. What are we doing here? One is far more dynamic.
One's far more athletic, which is Jalen Waddle.
And more dynamic.
People love athleticism because it pops. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get you production on the field.
Puka Nacua is not a route runner like Jalen Waddle is. He's not as fast as he is.
I think he's better route runner. Let's see. Waddle by far. Waddle, Puka, Waddle.
Ball knowers.
See?
Ball knowers are going to separate themselves from the ball knowers.
I disagree. It's easy to say Waddle because athleticism pops.
It's also easy to say Puka because of what he's done in fantasy football.
But you said forget fantasy.
But that's my point, is people are only thinking Puka. The only reason you would make an argument
close. We're getting a lot of Pukas. We're getting a lot of Waddles. I'm just saying it's close.
The only reason people would say Puka is because of what he's done in fantasy. That's the issue. And because Waddle has not been good in fantasy. It's not close. I love Puka as much as the next guy, but we've been in the league for fucking 13 weeks. And what he's doing is being schemed up and being what? You want to make the argument that Jalen Waddle's being schemed up?
Thank you.
But there's no Cooper Kupp. If you put Jalen Waddle running a fucking drag route like Sean McVay's offense with no Cooper Kupp there, you take out Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle's going to see the same amount of targets. Puka Nacua is on pace to be top 10 in targets. Naturally, you're going to do the most with that. So I think a lot more people are going to talk about Puka because of what he's been able to do in fantasy and what Jalen Waddle hasn't been able to do in fantasy this year. But people forget that Jalen Waddle, if you want to then bring up fantasy, what he did last year versus obviously this year is very different. I think it's a crazy take. I love Puka Nacua. Your boy was first on Puka Nacua on this podcast.
Facts.
But I think
you're late on him.
I think we're out of our fucking minds to think that. We'll do a couple more before
Setting Patrick for Dak this week. Sad to see Pat go. Well, I wouldn't do that. I'll tell you why, because Pat's playing the Bills. That's going to be a high-scoring game. I know hasn't been great this week. I mean, the past few weeks. But against the Bills, it's finally his time to go off, to go crazy. And is that game? What time is that game? Probably at 4:25. Yeah, that's the late afternoon game. Patrick likes to go crazy on those games. I would go Patrick, but I understand Dak. Dak's playing the Eagles, not great secondary. You saw what Brock Purdy just did to the Eagles D, but I'm going Patrick this week. But I understand going Dak.
91 Trillis said Devontae. He asked for Devontae's take.
Go ahead.
Start Sam Laporta or TJ Hawkinson at tight end, or start one of them over Waddle in the flex, which I probably would. Just
you see, start both tight ends.
I'm starting. You're
starting Hawkinson for sure.
Yes,
and then you're putting Laporta in at flex.
And again, it has nothing to do like Waddle. I think the problem with Waddle's inconsistencies, as obviously we were just talking about him, is like it's tied to. So here's the example. Here's what I'll say, because obviously against the Jets, both wide receivers went off, right, and both have great corners, but they were still able to produce. Against the Commanders, they took out their starters very early on, and that is a chance that can easily happen against the Titans on prime time. So naturally, I want to start Sam Laporta and TJ Hawkinson. That it's just for me, I'm starting Kittle and Kincaid in a league. Tight ends have shown us that they can, they have really high floors this year just from targets. So I think that's where I would go. Where would you go? Even though he didn't ask you, he asked me.
I would do the same thing.
Okay, cool. Thank you. We're gonna do this for a little bit longer. Let's answer a few more questions.
What are we doing this shit for, dog?
Huh?
We're going for an hour.
We've been going. We've been going. We'll do two more. How about this? Because 411 people.
That's a lot of people. Shout out
but
to y'all.
you're going to be doing start sits on Sunday. Last minute start sits.
That's why I got to save my energy for that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm tired. I'll be honest. I also feel a little delusional right now. I'm dealing with the sinus shit that you were dealing with.
It sucks.
So when I start talking, I'm losing my brain a little bit. We'll do a few more questions. User 6032152003868 said Devontae and Felipe start 2. Achane, Mostert, Mixon, Pacheco, Keaton, Mitchell.
I'm starting Pacheco and I'm starting Achane.
I'm with it. We'll do a few more. This is a change of pace. Eric Vaughn said, would y'all like to hear the worst fantasy team of the year?
Yeah,
I would.
Go ahead.
I would.
Is it yours? Because I'm sorry if that's what you're dealing with, bro.
Adam and Felipe. He also put Christmas Santa emojis and Christmas tree emojis.
Shout out.
Do we see that one up there somewhere? He said, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, CMC, or Zeke. Start 3. You're starting the first 3.
Can you zoom back in, kind of? Because I like seeing it. Swift, Moss, CMC, and Elliott start 3. Swift, Moss, and CMC, bro. Yeah. Come on now. Elliott, like I get, is going to get a little bit more volume now, but
I love how we're calling him Elliott too. It sounds so like proper.
Zeke. I mean, I'm just reading off what he said.
Let's do one more. Brandon Barton up top said, Devontae and Felipe, please start 5. Let's create your
Y'all love to
lineup.
start 5s, bro.
Devontae and Felipe, pick my lineup for me. Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Achane, Jettis, DJ Moore, Devontae Adams.
Nice, man.
Holy
you're
shit.
You're in business. All right, so running backs, you're starting Bijan and Gibbs. Receivers, you're starting Jettis. And who do you start between DJ Moore and Devontae Adams? Adam.
I think I know. I'm thinking. I think I lean DJ, but I want to kind of start both. If I'm being honest, just crazy.
So okay, all right. But you agree with me that at running back you're starting Bijan and Gibbs, right?
Yeah.
So then at receiver,
it's tough, dude.
So you're starting Jettis, and then the question is, okay, between Achane.
I'll be honest. I might go Bijan, Gibbs, Achane at the flex, Jettis, and then DJ Moore.
So you're sitting Devontae Adams. That's tough to say Devontae.
It is
Adams.
tough, but Jettis is Jettis. There's no way I'm keeping him out of my lineup.
Yeah,
DJ Moore has been good with Justin Fields, and against the Lions, that could be a shootout. Their corners have not been great. When it comes to Achane, it could be a blowout, and they could just run the ball. Even if he doesn't go off, he's a 2 touchdown game is so easy in the range of outcomes for Devon Achane.
I think I agree with you. If I were to defer, it would be for Achane, and I would start Adams at the flex. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is a good time to wrap up. There's 412 people on TikTok. There's a ton on YouTube. We've obviously been doing this for 45 minutes. So if you do want to have more, start sit questions, make sure to tune in on Sunday, where Felipe will be live on TikTok only at 12 o'clock. So if you have your last minute start sit questions, you have, obviously there's going to be a ton of people going live at that time. But if you want to come get Felipe's takes, obviously he's a dog. Make sure to tune into that at 12 o'clock. Also tomorrow, very early in the morning, I think it's like 4 a.m, our predictions episode comes out. So if you want to bet on any of the games and know which teams to bet on, make sure to listen to that predictions episode. And if you do want to bet, we have a promo right now with FanDuel where if you bet $5 on your team on the money line, you get $150 in bonus bets for new users if your team wins. So make sure to check that out. That's in the link in our bio. If you click out up top and go to the link in our bio, you can see that FanDuel promo. Make sure to sign up and make sure to let them know that you came from Caps Off. As we've signed off on every fantasy episode, we do it with one reason, and that's the reason for that is because Felipe's words of wisdom inspire us to go be great. So, Felipe, on the week that most people are going to go make the playoffs, on a week that people need to make the playoffs, on a week where clearly a lot of people need Achane, Pacheco, and David Montgomery in the exact same league, what are your words of wisdom?
My words of wisdom are don't be a fucking bitch. This is a week you need to win. You want to make the playoffs, or do you not want to make the playoffs?
Hey. Don't be a bitch. All right. You heard it here first from Felipe. We will see you tomorrow for our predictions episode and see you Sunday for our live stream and start sit. We love you. Felipe, you're handsome.
Love you. Sorry.